to my channel. Today is a really important conversation we need to have because some of y'all, and I mean me before I found this out, are doing your makeup wrong. You're not valuizing your features. Valuizing, is that a word? Valuing? Valorizing? You're not making use of the features on your face, and you're doing mainstream makeup that doesn't enhance your natural beauty. So today I'm going to show you two versions. One, what you're doing wrong, and two, how to do it right in a way that really accentuates your beauty instead of really devaluing the features that you have. I don't think I'm making a lot of sense today, but I think you know what I mean. So let's get into it. So one of the worst things that you can do is to not put any kind of moisturizer on your face. I'll even say you don't have to use primer, but you have to moisturize. If not, your skin is going to start actually naturally producing oil to try to hydrate your skin, which is gonna make you look oily. So even if you're somebody who's like very oily and you're like, I don't need any extra moisture on my face, you do. It also is just gonna make the foundation set prettier. So biggest mistake you can do is to skip this step. So for all intents and purposes, I have nothing on my face right now. One of the 7 deadliest sins that you can do is picking a shade that is not your color or isn't currently your color. You know, we all go through times and seasons, and right now it's summertime, right? So I'm usually used to using a pretty fair shade, but I'm really tan right now, so what I should be doing is really taking the time to find the color that matches. But the worst thing you can do is just feel like anything works. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use what I'm used to using without kind of checking on what my skin looks like now. Let me put this mirror here. And we're just gonna cover mama all of that coloring, even though it doesn't match me right now. What's really important too is finding out what your undertone is. Whether you're somebody who has a more warm undertone, more cool, more neutral. I am more of a neutral undertone, and this concealer is very cool toned. Which for me personally, if you're neutral, I feel like it's better to use cool than warm if you're just kind of erring on the side of caution if you have to choose. But really take the time to find one that fits. So for me, I'm neutral, which can be a little bit harder because I'm not exactly warm, which is kind of where I start to look orangey, or the shades look too pink on me, or I use too much cool tone and I end up looking kind of ashy, kind of dead. So what's really important is to find your undertone. And you can go into really any kind of makeup store like an Ulta or a Sephora. They should be able to do that for you. Do you see, without using any lotion, how cracky I look right now? Ugh, this like hurts me to put this on because it looks so bad. You can just see when you don't moisturize what happens. I'm like breaking up. This looks amazing. I don't know how super accurate this is, but they say if you look at the veins on the inside of your wrist and they're green, then you're warm toned. If they're blue, you're cool toned. They're blue on me, which seems pretty accurate because I do lean more toward cool, neutral undertones. Look how gross. This is why you have to put on moisturizer, because if not, you're gonna look like that. Ew. And another mistake to this is just powdering. Sometimes you can just leave it, but another deadly sin is feeling like you just have to powder because that's what everyone tells you to, or powdering everywhere. I mean, let's say that you have, you know, kind of an oily T-zone, but the rest of you is good. I wouldn't put powder there because you're gonna end up looking pretty cakey, which I'm about to right now. This is literally just making me look worse. Because if you're already dry, this is really just gonna bring out all of those cracks. And look, if you're in a pinch and you really just have to use a color, at least bring it down your neck, because right now this is just not matching. Let's move on. Now, this is something that irks me so much because I used to do it, but it's really not making your eyebrows look as natural as possible. You know, a lot of people who have brows will just go in and completely make a shape that's not their eyebrow shape, right? And I feel like sometimes that can look pretty heavy. So I'm gonna do what I see a lot of people doing, which is painful. So what I see people doing is wherever there's a mark, just filling it in and really filling in their eyebrows where they don't need to. Especially like at the beginning, so many people make a pretty harsh beginning, and I feel like that just looks not great. I really do like eyebrow crowns. I feel like they can be great, but eyebrow crowns for toddlers, pencils. But I feel like when you just do this to your eyebrow, it really doesn't look natural. In my opinion, it makes your eyebrows look even smaller because you don't have this shape to really play off of. Just going through and smoothing that out. Because the thing is, my eyebrows are fairly hairy, so if I actually did just like follow and fill in technically where all my hair is, I look like Oscar the Grouch, but we'll leave it like that for now. Something I see a lot too is when it comes to the eyeliner. I'm somebody who I like using black eyeliner to bring out my eyes, but a lot of people don't do it in a shape that is flattering sometimes to their eye shape. So for example, what people just do is like, you know, take any kind of pencil, eyeliner, kind of just drag it, following the shape of their eye, and that's it. You know, they don't really know how to enhance that shape. They just go right over it, which I feel like can really weigh your eyes down. I feel like this just kind of leaves your eyes looking heavy, looking like there's no pop to them, and can even make you look kind of tired because there's a lot of darkness, especially for people who don't use false eyelashes, which my eyelashes are pretty tiny. I'm not even gonna put on mascara to show you because I really don't have any lashes, but a lot of people do this, put on some eyeliner or some mascara, and they're done. And I just feel like there's so much more that you could do to brighten and enhance your eyes, but they'll just, you know, leave it like this. Now we shall move on to what perhaps in our generation is the most horrendous trend when done poorly, and that is overlining the lips. I'm a huge fan of, you know, crafting your lips to look more enhanced, but I think something that I see a lot is people not using the right color for their lip tone, or it kind of accentuates in a bad way. So I'm gonna show you what I see a lot of people doing. You know, taking just any color. This is kind of like a fun pink that I would wear for an everyday, but that doesn't mean you should be lining your lips in that same color. And I see people just kind of, you know, lining the lips. Overlining like all the way down to their mouth. And here. And then using that to kind of blend it in. And it's not that this is necessarily a bad color, you know, when it's done right, but if you're just taking and you're lining all of your lips and really just going around the whole outline and not using more of a craft to it, it doesn't look super natural or nice on the lips. So these would be my biggest no-nos of what not to do, because you'll see here coming up, there's a lot of ways that we can really enhance our face instead of taking the features that we have and just throwing with whatever's there. I'm gonna show you the best way to enhance all of that now. Let's get into how to do it the right way. Number one, most important thing is prepping your skin before you do any kind of makeup, because if not, you're gonna be crusty, cracky, ugly, not gonna look good. So what we're gonna start out with is I've already washed my face after that and put on a moisturizer, and now I'm just gonna go in with a primer. Really doesn't matter which one. I'm using a hydrating primer because again, I'm pretty dry, and just really working that in. And pick a foundation color that we feel like matches the overall appearance of our skin. You know, like the previous video I did, even though the really bright concealer might have matched, you know, the more white parts of my face, it's the middle of summer. Like, my arms are really tan, even my neck. You can't tell super well because I'm having a bit of a rash, but my chest from going to the pool is a little bit darker than my actual face. So what I'm gonna do is find a color that matches my neck and my chest, and I'm not just matching my face here. It's really matching me pretty well right now is this Clinique foundation, because it's not too bright, as you can see, and it still kind of matches the overall skin tone of my body. So we're just gonna smooth her on there. Actually, as I'm applying this, I'm realizing that this is now also too light for my skin now that it's summer. I really didn't realize how tan I'd gotten. So this is okay. This is too light, but we're gonna fix that because I would not go out looking like this. This is still, as you can see, there's like a disconnect. Wow, it got really brown. Well, tan for me, right? Not tan in general. So what I'm gonna do is really work that into the skin, make sure it's as absorbed as it can. And now to correct our mistake, it's okay if you correct a mistake. This is the good part about moisturizing before, because if you moisturize before, you can add another layer of makeup and it's not gonna look cakey and bad. You're gonna still look really refreshed. So, with that worked in, what I'm gonna do is I have this shade that's usually too dark for me, but I guess it's not anymore. So I'm just gonna take some dots, put it on top, and then blend it in. Just, yeah, a better color match. Just to bring that warmth back in. Yeah, that helps a lot, actually. It's like actually perfect now. It's so funny how quickly, that's why you have to keep up with your makeup and, you know, constantly be refiguring out what shade you are, because the shade I am in the spring here is not the shade I am in the summer. Better color match for right now. Definitely a better match. Something I also would recommend not doing is powdering unless you feel like you really have to. And this is something, again, because I have dry skin, that if I just kind of leave it like this, it's a nice dewy look. Now, if you are going to set your foundation, what I really recommend is using a really fine finishing powder, because what that's gonna do is kind of help perfect the skin. But I would do one that really doesn't have much of a color in it. I think this one has, I'm using my Givenchy, not because it's mine, because my sister gave it to me. I would never buy this on my own. But doing just a little light touch, you know, under the eyes, just really quick, maybe your nose, T-zone, but really like light pats. And even that was really enough for me, because again, we do everywhere, we gonna be looking cakey. So just these parts here. I don't even do the sides much, really. And the nice part about a finishing powder is it really kind of blurs your imperfections, but it won't if you put too much. So again, you have to have a really delicate touch. Can you hear that rain outside? Let the rain fall down. let's go ahead and move on to eyebrows. This is something that I learned and has made a huge difference for me, because what I used to do, just like everybody else, is really just fill it in. Like you see the shape, just fill it. We're not gonna do that, okay? I'm gonna actually zoom you in for this one because it's important that you know. So what I'm gonna do is first we're just gonna brush through the brows. Brush, 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 brush. Now my brow hairs are a little scraggly, but I like them that way. So what we're not going to do is go all the way through. What I use, and I really actually love this, is the NYX Lift and Snatch, because what it will actually do is make tiny little strokes for you. Let me just move my camera over so I can get that closer. So what I'm gonna do is just any areas that look a little sparse or that I want just a little extra, I'm gonna just do that. Now sometimes this product can come out kind of thick. Go with a really light hand. You can always kind of like brush it out later. But do you see that? Do you see these realistic little strokes that I'm able to get on my eyebrow? It's pretty impressive here. I like to add some here because my hair is naturally a little bit sparse there. Fill in a couple in the eyebrows just because this color is a little bit darker than my real brows. And voila! Literally, that's it. I'm gonna do the same here on the other side. I'm telling you guys, the lightest little hand. And voila. And that looks extremely natural. Then I take an eyebrow gel. This is just one I got from Ipsy. And then they just look a lot more natural. And I'm just gonna spike them up. I don't need too much eyebrow gel, but I find it even just kind of helps the little strokes I've made just appear a little bit more natural. I'm gonna zoom you back out again because you don't need to be that close to me to see the rest. Now this is a part that I think is so important that everybody should do, and this is really just to brighten the spots around your eyes, because we can look tired throughout the day. Where's my little pencil? And I think this just makes a really big difference with really just brightening the eyes. Any nude, actually I'm gonna zoom you in again. Very natural, like we want to keep everything nice and natural. Just go right behind your eyelashes. It's like that. Do you see even the difference from one eye to the next? You're probably like, no, Rachel, I can't. Well, I can. Okay. Now, getting to my favorite part. I'm not even gonna do eyeshadow because typically I just do like a light little sparkly eyeshadow. I don't usually ever do heavy colors on the lids because I feel like that isn't always flattering for me specifically. What I pay most attention on is my eyeliner and my lashes. So what I'm gonna do is I always extend my eye a little bit. I always do a little bit of a cat eye just because I wish that my eyes were a little bit bigger, and I just feel like it kind of makes the look good. Just watch, you'll see what I'm doing. I can just do it in like the camera for you. A little bit up, just like that. Bring it back down. Look how pretty. And then I line. I don't go crazy with the liner. I only kind of bring it to this point because again, we're trying to look semi-natural. Looks good. Nice. And now my favorite part, because I really truly think if more people would do this, it would make all the difference. I'm not saying that you have to, but I'm just saying if you would, it would make a big difference. I started doing this a while ago, but what I do is I cheat my eyelashes to make them look like they're extending far past my eye to make my eye look bigger. What you're gonna do is you can take really any eyelash, but do not cut it to fit your eye. Do not leave it as long as it comes, because here's what we're gonna do. In the same way that you would normally place your lash, place it and then follow the cat eye and bring out your eyelash like this. This is where I would normally put my eyelash. Now we're gonna bring it out. Now, do you see how much longer my eye looks now because I drew that out? Let me show you the other eye. Again, place it where I normally would, and then just bring it on out. Yeah, just like that. Okay, do you see how much wider my eye looks than it did from the beginning of this video? It really just cheats the eye because everything's kind of black. I mean, I'll go back in and kind of fill in, but it really just makes your eye look wider, which is pretty sick. The thing that we're gonna focus on now is the lips. I can finally wash that nasty foundation off my lips. Now, I do have a lip filler, so I'm not saying that I don't understand the desire to overline your lips, because I used to do that. But if we're gonna overline our lips, we've gotta do it the right way. If not, it's very obvious. So what I'm gonna do is show you how to line your lips and even kind of overline. Again, cheat the lips, but nobody's gonna know. How would they know? So let me zoom even closer. Look at my zit. We're gonna take a color, doesn't matter what kind, that's kind of natural to our lips. Even if we're gonna put a different color on top, we gotta make sure it kind of matches our lips. And we're gonna cheat a little bit as we go up. Yeah, girl, you cheat that lip. You bring it up, bring it around, but only to there. We are not overlining here. Don't do it. Don't. And then again, a little here. Not much, girl. Don't go crazy. Cheat it here. And we're done. Do not overline any more than this. You will look so fake. Okay. And then, honestly, even something I do is even make my lip look smaller inside, because it gives the appearance of it being taller. Okay, then we fill it in a little. Same here. Now, I feel like with the bottom lip, we don't really need to overline as much, because I feel like most people are focused on the top lip. Okay. Now what we're gonna do is take a nude-ish, again, needs to kind of match our lip color, and dab it. Dab it. Now the secret to this not looking overlined is that it's matte. you use gloss, using me up. If you use gloss, it's gonna show the difference between your skin and your lips. If it's matte, they're not gonna know. So we're gonna keep it like that. Now for the very last touch is going to be blush and a little highlighter. Because I don't really use bronzer. I don't think it looks good on me. Now instead of using a really harsh cream, I just use a really light powder. Sometimes if it's a cheaper brand like CoverGirl, it's even better because it's not super pigmented. I just take a really light pink color and I just put a little, dab a little on each side to my upper cheek. Not enough to displace the powder or anything, just enough to bring a little bit of color in. Again, not a lot. Don't want to look like a circus clown. We want it to look natural, a little bit. And then a place that I always highlight is my nose. Sometimes I contour it, but this is, again, kind of a natural look we're doing today. So on the tip, the little bridgy bridge of my nose, it's here, and a little bit here. Again, not much, girl. Don't want to look weird. And this is how you accentuate your features. Now I know that my features might look different than yours, but the idea is still here. Elongating the eyes, barely doing the lips, finding a skin color that matches yours. This is how we're going to get that nice look. So make sure to follow these tips whenever you're doing your makeup. Even though makeup is a form of expression and fun, if you're doing it to actually look better, I would probably follow these tips. But I hope you have an amazing rest of your week. I can't wait to see you next time. Bye.